Howdy, this is Luis Saldana, Extension Program Specialist with 4-H for Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service with another video on using the scorecard that we use for the Modified 600 Archery match. And so this particular scorecard was developed sometime back with assistance of a couple of coaches and some others that are involved in the archery program, and this one specifically is designed for our archery match. Can be changed or modified, but I think what's important to point out here is the process that we go through and how to actually use this scorecard. So I'll point out a couple of important features. First of all, this is our junior scorecard, and we identify that clearly here on the left. It makes it easier when we're trying to tabulate. It's also on green paper, and that helps us give us two visual cues immediately that this is a junior archer. Junior in this particular case is 3rd through 5th graders. We also have intermediates that are 6th to 8th graders and seniors that are 9th to 12th grade. So here's the junior scorecard. Revision date on this is actually December 2015. We've made some changes and made some additions, but nonetheless, this is kind of what we use. This one can get a bit complicated for some archers, especially the younger ones. To be completely honest, we even have some adults that have difficulty from time to time with a specific part of this, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Okay, so let's point out a couple of things. I pointed out the age division scored across there. Top right-hand corner up in this area, you can see that this is where the archer's information goes, their name, their county, and their bow division. Bow division, we have 5 bow divisions. We have bare bow, recurve, NASP Genesis. We also have compound unaided and compound aided. So those are the 5 bow divisions that we use in connection with the 3 age divisions. So our modified 600 uses a 122 centimeter 5-color target, and we actually include a scoring guide in here. So during the match itself, if there's any question or they have any doubt, they can refer to this scoring guide as a little bit of help in how to score their actual target. Okay, so then here you can see 3 kind of distinct sections. What I'll point out here is if you look very carefully, you have 20, in this case 30 yards, 25 yards, and 20 yards. Each of these distances are structured specifically for this age division. When you move into the intermediates, the yardage is different, and you move into the seniors, it's also different as well, and progressively longer distances. So this is a scorecard, and then of course down here in the bottom right hand corner, as you can see here, this is intended to be kind of a sum or a total of all of the entire scorecard in one spot. So as we're tabulating results, we can look at it quickly. So let's go over this a little bit at a time. And I'm going to kind of zoom in here to the first one, and you'll see here that we have at 30 yards, we shoot the furthest distance first. At 30 yards, we have 3 ends of 6. Okay, so they will shoot 6 arrows in the first end. In the particular box is where they place their actual score based on this scoring guide here and the scoring rings, which would be the 2 outer rings, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Those would be your black rings. 5 and 6 would be your blue. 7 and 8 would be your red, and 9 and 10 would be your gold color on your 5-color target. Okay, this particular area here explains a little bit on, see if I can get in a little closer, on those that are just on the line, and it talks here, you can see where if you can actually, these are also scored with the arrows in the target. We do not remove or to even touch the arrows until every arrow has been scored. So while the arrows are in the target, the 4-H members will score each one. If the shaft touches the line, the black line that separates the 2 scoring rings, then that in fact would score up. So there's 2 examples. It's a little hard to tell here. Let me see if I can get it a little closer. And you can notice the one on the right is touching the 10 ring, whereas the one on the left, you can actually see a little bit of color between the 9 and the 10 ring. So the one on the right would score as a 10, the one on the left would score as a 9. Okay. All right, so let's go back to the first distance, which is in this case 30 yards. And so archers would shoot, again, 3 ends of 6 arrows. So in these would be all of the individual arrows scores. You'd also record an M for a miss. And you would sum all of these into the total for that end, the subtotal, if you will, for that end. Now this column is where people have difficulty. They do not understand, many of them do not understand what a running total is. And the way I explain this is that's kind of like your balance in your checkbook. You have a total and then you enter the next check, and then you know, if it's a deposit, then you add it and so forth. So you get what I'm talking about. But this is a running total. This number will always, on every scorecard, on the first end that they shoot, will always equal that one. Then from this point on, it changes completely. Okay? Then you also enter the number of tens and the number of hits. Okay? That's a lot of information to include for each end, but also very important, especially the tens and the hits when it comes to ties and breaking ties. So 30 yards for juniors, 3 ends of 6, total for that end, total for that end, total of that end. On the running total, this is going to equal that one on the first line only. Then the running total here is this number plus the total of that end would go here. And then you carry that forward, this plus the total of that end goes here, and then this number subtotal goes here. Here you simply count the total number of tens, put that total there, total number of hits, put that total there. Once they're done with those 3 ends of 6, they move to a shorter distance. This is 25 yards. Again, 3 ends of 6. Do the same thing. Now, on the running total, this running total is intended to be for just this distance. It is not intended to carry this running total over to here. That's where some of the confusion primarily takes place. So here, they would add up all of their scores for those 6 arrows at the one end, total it here, same here. Go all the way across, total here, tens and hits. Then you get to the shortest distance, and what you'll notice in this particular match, the way it's set up, is we're actually have more ends but fewer arrows. By the time they get here, they've already shot quite a few arrows, and so these are intended to kind of be a little bit easier for them to shoot 3 arrows as opposed to 6, because by then they may start getting tired, or depending on whether they're using a release or the type of bow they're using, they may start getting tired. So we do 8 ends of 3. So it's a total of 60 arrows. It's 18 and 18, that's 36, and here would be 24. Same process here, total each end, then a running total all the way down, total number of tens with a total number of tens at the bottom, and then the total number of hits with a total number of hits at the bottom here. Once you're done, then ideally, the way this works is you should take numbers from here, numbers from this middle distance, and numbers from the shortest distance, and transpose those over to here. Here are the 3 different distances, 20, 25, and 30. The total number of tens at the 20-yard line, 25-yard line, and 30-yard line. Total number of hits here, here, and here. And the total score. Now this score should be the total in this box right here. If I zoom back out, maybe that'll help. So this total, and that total all go in these 3 boxes here, and then of course the total score would be represented in this box in the bottom right hand corner. So I've got an example. This is actually from our archery match, and so let's go through this a little bit at a time. Okay, so in this particular case, in this first end, of course the archery information covered to protect the innocent. This was actually in the barebow division. So in the first end you have 3, 5, 8, 5, 0, 0. Okay, so one of the things you got to remember is handwriting is not always the best, so deciphering numbers and verifying numbers is always really important and sometimes hard to do. So 3, 5, 8, and 5, that's 21, so the running total would be 21. So then the second end, this archer scored a 4, a 3, a 5, a 6, and then 2 zeros. So that's 7 and 5 is 12, plus 6 is 18, so they put 18. Now, here's where the confusion starts for many. 21 plus 18 is 39. This individual did it correctly, so their running total goes from 21 to 39. In the third end, this archer scored 26 points. I believe that's right. Let's see. 5 and 6 and 6. That's 17, and 7 is 24. See, so there's an example of a handwriting issue. I thought that was 26. It's actually a 24. So 39 plus 24 is 63. So there's your 63. You carry that down to your total. In this particular case, they had no 10s and no hits without scoring. Do the same thing in the second distance, which is here. You can see the first end is 38, which carries across, and then 25. So 38 and 25 is 63. And so you carry out. So here's your running total for your second distance. And then here's your total for the third distance. These carry over into your box over here. So you had a 63, a 93, and a 137. The total in this case is a 293. Down here you have the archer's initials and then 2 scores. We generally have at least 2 to 3 archers per target, and they kind of help each other and score each other and verify each other's scores. So this is how we use the modified 600 scorecard. This too is available if you want to download it and use it for your own match, or even use it as a guide to create your own. You can find it on our website at d124h.tamu.edu. Look for the shooting sports link, go to the archery page, and you should be able to find not only the modified 600 scorecard, but you can also find the 3D scorecard that we did in the other video. I hope you use this or find this guide helpful for working with your archers, or you as an archer yourself, to understand and prepare when you go to a match. This is the kind of scorecard you may see, and how it can help you know and be familiar with your scorecard before you go to the match. Always a good idea to know how you're going to score. A lot of matches use different scorecards, so just keep that in mind. Hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time.